Dead or Alive encapsulates the philosophical core of the streets of San Francisco by framing crime not as deviation but as revelation, exposing the invisible contracts that govern urban existence. And from the earliest scenes, the series establishes a rhythm that privileges observation over judgment, allowing the city to unfold as a space of layered intentions rather than clear moral zones. And this approach is immediately evident in how crimes are discovered not through dramatic incidents but through routine disruptions, a missed appointment, an unanswered phone, a body found not because it was hidden poorly but because indifference finally ran out. And this narrative choice subtly shifts the focus away from perpetrators and towards systems, making each episode feel less like a whodunit and more like an inquiry into how lives intersect invisibly until consequences emerge. And Stone's character embodies this investigative philosophy, operating less like a hero and more like a witness, tasked with recording truths that society would prefer to forget, and his interactions are marked by patience rather than dominance, suggesting an understanding that coercion produces compliance, but rarely insight. And the series repeatedly reinforces this through scenes where suspects reveal themselves not under pressure, but through exhaustion, through the realization that maintaining a lie requires more energy than surrendering it, and this emphasis on psychological erosion rather than physical confrontation gives the show a realism that remains striking, especially when compared to later crime dramas that favor speed and shock. And the title Dead or Alive gains deeper meaning when viewed through this lens, because it asks whether a person's status is determined by breath or by engagement, by whether they participate consciously in the consequences of their actions. And the show consistently suggests that many of its characters are functionally absent from their own lives, long before legal intervention occurs. And this insight resonates personally because it mirrors experiences of urban anonymity where people coexist without connection, sharing space but not responsibility. And the series does not romanticize this condition, instead portraying it as fertile ground for harm precisely because it allows individuals to detach without immediate penalty. And Heller's arc within this framework is particularly compelling, as his initial confidence in action gradually gives way to a more nuanced understanding of restraint, learning that speed must be tempered by awareness. And the dynamic between him and Stone becomes less about generational conflict and more about mutual adaptation, reflecting the series' belief that survival within complex systems requires flexibility rather than certainty. And San Francisco itself remains the silent constant, absorbing stories without commentary, its beauty and indifference existing simultaneously, and this duality reinforces the show's central argument that environments shape behavior not through overt pressure, but through normalized absence. And Dead or Alive therefore stands as an ethical question rather than a conclusion, challenging viewers to consider where they stand within the spectrum of engagement, and whether choosing not to act is itself a form of decision. And this is why the series continues to resonate, because it refuses to offer comfort, instead inviting reflection that lingers long after the screen fades to black.